Glad to be here, and you have options for the other tracks. Thank you for being here. There's so much to share. I'm in Palafox. I've been 52 years as architect, 50 years as urban planner in 40 countries. We've done more than 1,800 projects, 61 billion square meters of land, more than 20 million square meters of building floor area. I mentioned this morning, I presented this in the 2006 60th anniversary of the United Nations. If you rotate the map of the world, the Philippines is right in the center, strategic center. The past centuries, trade of commerce was Mediterranean. Last century was the Atlantic. This century is Asia Pacific, and we're right in the center. And you know why? I think I mentioned this morning that we had been an Asia Pacific hub of Spanish Europe for the 300 years, 50 years the Americans, 2 years the Japan, 2 years the British, 4 years the Japanese. So it's already a given that superpower countries will be interested in our beautiful islands and stratification. And this was maybe a long time ago. In 2013, China announced the Road Belt project, but they excluded the Americas. And what they started in North America to connect Russia and Alaska, Cold War country, Bering Strait. And as I mentioned this morning, immediate reaction was, what is crazy Filipino talking about? Then the next day they were congratulating me. Connecting all the continents is less expensive than the Gulf War. So peace and development is less expensive than war and conflict. And we can be international hub. And so I've been telling every president, we need 400 international airports and at least 400 international seaports. And airports or seaports are the business card of the city, the business card of the country. That's when I was named or invited to help plan Dubai in 1977, bring it to the first world in 15 years. Big projects, airports, and seaports. And now we've been involved in the largest airports being built. Clark, 80 million target visitors per year. The San Miguel Corporation, 120 million. NAIA, we did the Development Master Plan in 2004, target 65 billion, so more than 200 million. Again, comparing it to Dubai, Dubai is building the largest airport in the world, 2050, 220 million target visitors, combined capacity of Chicago here and London Heathrow. So this has been my dream, and I was a student, 20 years old, 1970, interconnecting the whole Philippines. And with bridges, railways, maybe even subways. And then it was a dream, became a vision. When we got involved in projects, like we're doing Bataan Cavite, we proposed the Bataan Cavite connectivity. Then we're doing Guimaras, Iloilo, Guimaras, Iloilo, and Negros. So slowly it's being implemented. This picture here, the American Corps of Engineers proposed in 1945, I was not yet born, 10 radial roads and 6 circumferential roads. Until now, we don't have the radial road number 4. And transport network, road network is as strong as the weakest link. So radial road number 4 along Pasay River is still missing. And most of our this proposal here, I had proposed not just 6 circumferential roads, but 10 circumferential roads. Circumferential road number 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will bypass Metro Manila. Now they're doing the 10 transportation corridor, Bataan Cavite link. And in Harvard, I had a paper that by 2050, the population of Central Luzon, Metro Manila, and Calabarzon will be 60 million people. Ideally, it would mean 6 international airports. And the whole country, by 2050, we're 150 million population, 400 airports, 400 international seaports. And I got confined for
26 days, I got COVID. So when I was thinking, with our population then, 110 million, we're supposed to have 5,500 hospitals. We have less than 2,000, majority are substandard. So I was talking to the secretary, so you project it to 2050, you probably need 8,000 hospitals. Then how many houses will live? You can compute it. With 150 million population, maybe 4 or 5 households rise, you can just compute it. And today there are 6 million backlog in housing. This is not mine. Goldman Sachs and HBC has forecasted by 2050, we are number 16th economy in the world. And will be overtaking many countries. And I'm not surprised because from the 1930s to the mid-70s, we were number 2 in Asia after Japan. 1946, we were number 1 in Asia because Japan was mom. And 1954, Japan overtook us again. I think about 1983, 1986, when we got our democratic space, no more appreciation of good planning, long-term planning. Everything was short-term and opportunistic. Even Goldman Sachs again and HSBC, by 2025, we should be number 12 economy in the world by 2025. And we are number 1 in the world in marine biodiversity. Number 1. We're number 1 in voice call centers. Number 1 in sailors, seafarers. I like to believe we are number 1 in nurses. We're number 2 in the thermal energy and PPOs. We have the 3rd longest coastline in the world, after Canada and Indonesia. Some countries, they go to war if they don't have a coastline. Like Iraq invading Kuwait, maybe even Russia invading Ukraine to have a waterfront. In Dubai, if I remember it right, we're planning Dubai, only 7 kilometers of natural waterfront. They were all sold out as primary estate. So the rest of Dubai excavated the desert, to have a waterfront, grants the peak of Dubai to have a waterfront development, and then the Palm Islands, and the map of the world, to have more waterfront. And we have so much waterfront in our country. What do we treat our waterfront? Back of the house basurahan. That's why the world, they create artificial waterfront. We've done some of them in Saudi Arabia. Excavate the desert for the waterfront. So we have number 2 in EPOs, number 2 in thermal energy. Number 1 longest coastline is Canada, Indonesia, and then the Philippines. And 3rd in gold reserves. Dubai don't have gold, but they export more gold than the Philippines. And number 4 in shipbuilding, thanks to the Japanese and the Koreans. Number 4 in copper. We master plan a ecological industrial zone in Philippines. The main anchor locator will be copper. So we don't export anymore raw copper, but finished products. Number 5 in nickel, number 6 in chromite, number 5 in all other mineral resources. And anecdotal research tells us the mineral resources is estimated to be $3 trillion. So we should really be a first world country. And we have a demographic soft spot. 26 years old, trainable, English speaking, and the rest of the world is aging and aged. That's why they have to speed up robotics to replace the human resources. And we are number 12 in human resources. And the Filipino expatriates, I don't want to call them OFW, sounds like prisoners of war. They are the preferred employees of all employers in the world. And all these blessings, what are our challenges? Corruption towards good governance, criminality towards better peace and order, climate change, and protecting and enhancing environment, inequality, poverty, well-distributed infrastructure, and I must include investments. And investors go to Vietnam because their policies are clearer. They don't projects already approved. The next administration they disapprove. In Vietnam, it's more predictable. And infrastructure investments, parenthesis, incompetence. I think less than 1% Filipinos are poor.
But the 98 or 99% are cowards, don't care anymore. We, truth tellers and whistleblowers, we are, I think, 0.001%. If we really love our country with strong faith, we can shake the corrupt, then we can be a first world country. And one more thing about it is, the Philippines is 400 times the size of Singapore, 350 times the size of Hong Kong, 8 times Taiwan, 3 times Korea. Mindanao is about the size of South Korea. And so we have so many blessings and less challenges. We know the problems, we know the solutions. Let's see. Yeah. We are 7,000, I think it used to be 7,700 islands. In the land area, 34 million hectares. I think water area used to be larger. And we should just, in fact, I was telling the incoming administration before, instead of build more, it should have been build better, verde and blue. Verde, green environment, blue, the blue ocean. I hope the next president will adopt that. Philippine population 2030, 150 million. 2050, about 150 million. Some forecasts could be 160 million. Yeah. The Philippine population, we need 100 new cities by 2050. Healthy, sustainable, resilient, livable, smarter cities by 2050. So, one of my professors in Harvard used to tell us, this century is a rare century. Let's reimagine, replan, re-architecture, redesign, re-engineer, redevelop, renew, reduce, reuse, recycle, and renaissance. About 10 years ago, I was a guest speaker, resource speaker in the remaking of Mumbai. And we identified, our team and CTV identified 30,000 dilapidated buildings in Mumbai. And they were going to demolish them and rebuild them like Singapore housing. India is like the Philippines. They have the same democracy as we are. But it seems they have stronger political will. The rulers of Dubai, Singapore, more progressive countries in the world, they have visionary leadership, a strong political will, good appreciation of good urban planning, good design, like architecture engineering, and excellent management. And they really do a culture of planning. Immediate option, short-term, medium-term, long-term, and visionary. When I was part of the ADB, hired me to help with the Philippine Development Plan 2025, I shared with them, there are the major categories of infrastructure, progressive infra, these are international airport and seaports, hard infrastructure, we all know that, roads and utilities, soft infrastructure is the ease of doing business, no red tape, no corruption, green, sustainable, you know that, digital, Internet of Things, AI, and institutional. You may have the best plans in the world, but if you don't have the institutions to implement them. The background picture is the Clark Airport. 4 runways, target 80 million visitors by 2050. Next slide. And there are 20 more kinds of infrastructure. Social, transportation, drainage, flood control, and so on. And then 30 modes of urban transport. In our development planning, it's less than 10. Even urban transport, less than 10. So walking, biking, active transport, aerial cable cars, and so on. And it should be priority for higher capacity vehicles. Next slide. And we are designing 15-minute cities, 10-minute neighborhoods, 5-minute, 10-minute communities, 5-minute neighborhood. When we were planning Rockwell 1992, the survey was done. We Metro Manilans, we walk only 400 meters, 5 minutes. So if you're in Rockwell, from your doorstep to any destination, shopping, dining, worshiping, doctors, and so on, 5-minute walk, 400 meters. And we're hoping we'll also achieve that. And types of tourism, about 20 of them. And I would add here even ecotourism. Nobody wants to admit when I talk to tourism officials we should also have disaster tourism. During disasters, we have a lot of tourists, or ghost tourism and so on. Vertical building, this is some of our tall buildings that we've designed. Here and elsewhere in the world, you can see the Rockwell buildings in the middle. And people who live in more compact cities tend to live longer, about 2 years longer than urban sprawl. And like Hong Kong is very compact, vertical urbanism versus Singapore and so on. And Manhattan, they live longer. When I was in Harvard, compared Boston metropolitan area and Los Angeles. Los Angeles, because it's car-oriented, they have more harm attacks than Boston. Next slide. So green building, this is the Asian Development Bank, the latest building. We got a gold and platinum certification by the US Green Building Council. This is the latest. And of course, we work with CPD of Singapore in collaboration. So these are the green building. This building here is one of the 6 buildings we designed for King Abdal Financial District in Riyadh. Green buildings, rainwater harvesting, solar, and the King Abdallah Financial District, they are interconnected with monorail and elevated walkways. La Mesa Dam Eco Park. We work with ABS-CBN Foundation here because we lack open spaces in Metro Manila. Open spaces are the lungs of the city. And we work with ABS-CBN Foundation here to add more lungs of the city in the metropolis. Biodiversity. And when we plan ridge to reef, from the top of the mountain, the highlands, the midlands, the lowlands, and the coastline. Very comprehensive. Like, we were doing both the Cordilleras and Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur. So from the top to up to the shoreline. Next slide. So, ridge to reef. Those who invest in whales should have more inroads. This is a cross-section of the Aero City Aerotropolis in Bulacan. It should be 1/3 for landscaping, trees and landscaping, because it takes about 10 trees to recover the oxygen out of the carbon monoxide of the car. If you have 500,000 vehicles passing through EDSA, we should have 5 million trees along EDSA. There are, I think, 70,000 vehicles passing through Ayala, so we should have 700,000 trees along Ayala. 1/3 for people, pedestrians and bicycles, then 1/3 for the moving traffic lanes. This is one of our advocacies also. At Palafox, we have integral ecology, we call it. Equity or social equity or people first. Job creation, poverty alleviation. Then we can talk about planet Earth environment. Then maybe profit, prosperity, and economic goals, without forgetting culture, history, and heritage, and interfaith spirituality. We have had visionary, I think it's what we slide. And Metro Davao, we competed, Mindanao Development Authority had hired us, Metro Davao, 8 LGUs, 10 times the size of Metro Manila, 9 times Singapore, 6 times Hong Kong. And what's nice about Metro Davao, 1 political will. Metro Manila, 17 political wills. These are architecturally designed bridges. Because more of bridges are designed by engineers, with all due respect, and contractors. Many bridges in the world are designed by architects with the design standards, double deck, to include everyone. And skywalks in Davao, they can be landscape, wheelchair ready, and so on. I wish our skywalks along EDSA are like this. Next slide. And they closed the night market in Davao, and we proposed to elevate it so that we don't have to close the roads. And then Mayor Sara instructed us, get inspired by the indigenous arts of the 11 tribes, so we put them here. And more eyes on the street. What we learned in Harvard Graduate Design is criminals are not scared of walls. They are more scared when there are more eyes than public criminals. Criminals are more scared of windows because behind the window, potential witness. Look what happened to Marawi. The high walls, nobody realized there are shabu factories and armories inside. So high walls are no longer not security by design. Again, the intermodal transit terminal in Davao, again, inspired by Danish architecture. Even the branding and marketing collaterals was part of our scope of work. So beyond the architectural box, even the lettering, it came from us. So the future waterfront of Davao by 2040. So it's comparable to the visually powerful waterfront in the world. And urban renewal for Davao Chinatown. We also decided more restricted for vehicles at night, and so on. And the midlands towards Mount Apo, again, as much practicable, indigenous arts and architecture. The Clark International Airport target 2050 is 80 million visitors. Four runways. And we did also the whole report of Clark, 4,000 hectares, and the Aero City is about 1,000 hectares. Because there were many other consultants. I hope they will follow our architectural typology. Green roof, seamless connectivity, rainwater harvesting, more eyes on the street. And again, waterfront is primarily state. Waterfront has amenity. This is San Miguel Aero City, about 2,000 hectares for the Aero City and about 9,000 hectares for the Aerotropolis. The evolution it will have at least 4 runways or 6 runways, and these are the cross section of the streets. And Rockwell then, August 1992, Rockwell now. The land value before we planned it was 8,000 per square meter. After the plans came out, lack of permits, 130,000 per square meter. And when we're not too busy, we take pictures of the uglification of our cities and send to the LGUs for architectural perspectives, and I call them postcards from the future, hoping somebody will implement them. When I was in Dubai, we call them snapshots of the future, because I know they will be implemented. Next slide. So now and then, Makati Poblacion, we won the competition, heritage conservation, Poblacion, the old district of Makati. And this one, Ilocos Norte, we did the provincial plan. Then we also won the architectural scope for the intermodal transport terminal. You can see there, they lack open spaces in the wall. So the rooftop of the transport terminal, landscape, public plaza, interaction areas, rainwater harvesting, and so on. And after it was presented, the provincial government is supposed to fund this. They presented the Department of Transportation. I think they like it. They're funding it now. Kabuga Riverfront is not a big town. Again, postcards from the future. They have a very good mayor. I think his grandfather worked in Dubai. That's probably why they invited us. Next slide. Diversifying the Cebu. It's our contribution to vibrant use of Christianity. We also designed the one in El Salvador near Cagayan de Oro. But long after we're gone, will be a living thing, asserting itself with ever-growing insistence. Remember that our sons and daughters are going to do things that will stagger us. Let what your watchworthy order and be beauty. We published 700 articles about planning, environment, architecture, and translated different languages. We published 3 books, all sold out. The last one, I got a Best Author Award. Its title is The Philippines. Argument getting Best Author Award. The title of the book is The Philippines Towards Resilient Cities and Communities. The thesis there is 90% less expensive to address the hazards before they become disasters, aside from saving more human lives, buildings, infrastructure, real estate, and agriculture. We know the hazards. Unfortunately, our country, they wait for the disasters, then they declare a state calamity, wala nang bidding sa kontrata. And you know, then when I was sick, I revisited quotable quotes from Winston Churchill, never let a crisis go to waste. So the pandemic, it was a crisis, we learned a lot. Even revisiting the way we design buildings. Like buildings now should be like a healthcare facility and so on. And Churchill also said, we shape our buildings thereafter they shape us, and as paraphrase states, we shape our environment, thereafter they shape us. Winston Churchill. Then, postcards of Felino, Pasay River, and Makati on the left, on the way on the right, interconnecting Laguna Lake, Pasay River, and the 190-kilometer Manila Bayfront. And I wrote this when I was 22 years old. Development is not worthy of a name unless spread evenly like butter on a piece of bread. I think I mentioned this morning, when I went to Harvard Graduate School Design, of which I was a lecturer before I became a student, they call it inclusive zoning, inclusionary growth, and so on. 1973, that's 51 years ago. And next slide. So I think we all like to live in environment-friendly, master-planned and well-designed green buildings and sustainable communities and cities that are smarter, more resilient, livable, connected, accessible, walkable, bikeable, safer, healthier, happy. Dubai now is happy Dubai. That's the goal of Dubai. 2040 Dubai. And better lighted, more convenient, cleaner, hopefully mixed income, cross-generational, with mixed developments, integrating places to live, work, shop, dine, learn and worship with healthcare and wellness centers, recreation with some 24-hour cycle activity center. Those are the first 5 towers of Rockwell, which are the architects of record. We also did the overall master plan. And everything we do is, I mentioned this morning, pro Deo, patria et terra, for God, country, and planet Earth. Then, if there's more time, we have the 3D elevation where I can voice over. Just projects in the Philippines that are different types of land users and building type. We don't have office anymore in UAE, but we have office in Makati, Cebu, and Davao. Next slide. Anyway, people ask me, some mayors sometimes, they say, I used to be Chief of Ayala Corporation. They want their cities like Makati. And I told them, not anymore. Makati is how not to do it. The Makati Central Business District, the employees spend 5 to 6 hours a day because they're priced out of the housing stock. Can you tone down the background music? This is Clark, 4,000 hectares. Just to visualize it, Makati is less than 3,000 hectares. Lumiit na dahil kinuha na ang Taguig yung iba. Anyway, very well connected with the rest of Luzon, bus rapid transit, railways, of course the airport, and we divided into 7 districts. The airport-driven land uses, Northern District, Southern District, and that's the airport, and Northern Gateway District, architectural typology, seamless connectivity, and even if there will be other architects in the future, at least the narrative of the architectural vocabulary, sustainable, green, resilient, and so on. More open spaces, the lungs of the city. And internal action area, green roof, rainwater harvesting. There's a river in Clark, so make it as a waterfront amenity. Technological business park, the principle of a smart city. Walkable, lots of landscaping. Stolzenberg was the original name of Clark. Then we maintained the heritage houses, tall buildings around it. The parade grounds will be like the central park of Clark. Again, the principle of 5-minute neighborhoods, 10-minute communities, 15-minute cities, meaning within 15 minutes, walkable, bikeable, public transit. Golf, we did the land, even the golf plan, we work on the latest golf course there. We work with golf designers like Jacqueline Close, Robert Red Jones, Greg Norman, Tom Weisskopf. We've done more than 8 master plan golf courses here and elsewhere in the world. So we learned that. So our latest client for that Dave's Golf was in Clark, Korea. They told me you already have learned from those golf designers. So we even did the golf routing plan and the houses and the clubhouse. Pampanga is 3 times the size of Singapore, 2 times Hong Kong. It's the nearest expansion to Metro Manila. And we're also doing Bulacan now. We just want the updating of the provincial brand of Bulacan. So for Pampanga, I call it megalopolis. In megalopolis, several metropolitan areas, metropolis, several cities, agropolis, the farm in the city, aquapolis, the water in the city, like Amazon, ecopolis, the environment, aerotropolis, airport-driven city. Intermodal transit terminal with solar roof, green water harvesting, and hopefully we can influence also the public market typology. The projects we do, we just do conceptual architecture, and hopefully we can work with local architects. Well, they can do it as long as they follow our design vocabulary, first world standards. And we proceed with articulated buses, so you have more passengers per day per hour. That bus dedicated lanes, which we proposed in Metro Manila 1976, I was team leader for the world map. And again, 1/3 for people, 1/3 for landscape, 1/3 for moving traffic vehicles. Before this, if you're the perimeter LGUs of Pampanga, you go out of Pampanga to go back to Pampanga. That's where you have circumferential road, radial roads, and so on. Metro Davao, we propose a much larger airport and change the paradigm of Mindanao as back door to the Philippines to front door to the Philippines. So, as I said a while ago, progressive infra is international airports, international seaports. And the Gulf is deeper than the Port of Manila. Hopefully, cruise tourism will come back. It's so easy to make landscaping in Mindanao, very fertile land. Again, more open spaces, more eyes in the public realm. This is the night market that we elevated. Redevelopment of Chinatown, Davao. And the intermodal transit terminal, again, the agricultural vocabulary, I hope we succeeded. Mindanaoan architecture. The elevated walkways, skywalks, very well landscaped, wheelchair ready, and architectural design bridge between Samal Island and mainland Davao. Again, inspiration that's like the wings of an eagle with the arts of the indigenous people of Davao. So car lanes, truck lanes, landscape planting street, bicycle lane, pedestrian, hopefully a ride trail, and big cruise ships can navigate underneath. All these plans, hopefully, it will influence our next 100 new cities as our contribution. So 8 LGUs of Davao. And this one, Davao City Tourism Plan. Again, we won this competition, and our client is the local government. So different kinds of tourism, definitely Davao. That was also the branding that we were asked to do, marketing collaterals for Davao. Where do you want to eat? Davao. Where do you want to visit? Davao. The cultural cluster, the event tribes of Davao, entertainment cluster, aerial cable cars, connecting Samal Island and Davao, and from Mount Apo. Amusement park, very walkable, bikeable, waterfront as an amenity. Practically all horizontal spaces will have solar roof, rainwater harvesting, even the kiosks, solar roof, renewable Coast Guard area will just influence the facade. The elevated walkways, again, with rainwater harvesting and solar roof, renewable and seating areas, cruise ship docks, marinas, yacht clubs, and Chinatown during the day, night market. Even the kiosks we design are scalable, repeatable. So we try to bring some of the towns LGUs are doing, we tell the mayors, or the governors, if you follow our plan, you can be a first world city by 2040. If you follow our plan. In terms of the transcendental, again, we try to do as much as possible Mindanao architecture, that's the architectural vocabulary. These are what stalls, so the revenues to cross-subsidize the developments and maintain them. Viewing decks with alfresco dining, and zipline tower, and cable car stations, pasalubong center, park trails, pedestrian bicycle bridges in the valleys, mountain park at Marido towards the Midlands again, the alfresco overlooking restaurant. We snake around the trees, preserve the trees, even the open door museum exhibit area, we preserve the tree in the middle, the centerpiece. Cable car station, different architectural design, so you don't get lost. Yeah. So this is the vow, definitely the vow. 2040, a first world city. This one I showed you a while ago, the transport hub, Ilocos Norte. It doesn't look like a bus terminal, tricycle, jeepney terminal. It's a park-like setting, and we are entering in the world, I think World Architecture Contest, this design. So it's mixed-use commercial, it's not just for transportation. There will also be retail areas and government offices. So it will be a 24-hour cycle activity center. And it will not just be for transportation, but becomes a destination as well, tourist destination. MIMC is Metro Ilocos Norte. Green roof access, so even future ready and so on. Retail commercial. So you can see the architecture is modern, contemporary, but it's still the Ilocos architectural typology in a contemporary form. This will be like, again, the lungs of the city between the stadium in Lawag and the Don Mariano Marcos University. They had solid walls. We asked them to bring them down, and a small space, we're able to put this and so on. This has to be implemented as soon as possible. So we just did the master plan and architecture. The engineering will be a design build for the winning contractor. So the buses, the bus base, solar roof, as much as practicable, natural light and ventilation, jeepney parking terminal. I hope they will be able to maintain it. Tricycle parking. And the goal is there will be electric vehicles. Again, rainwater harvesting, solar roof, and that agricultural policy is still brought to contemporary. And then imagine living environment-friendly master plan, well-designed, green, sustainable. With San Miguel Corporation, they partner with us. We did the master plan, the urban design, even a green building code over and above our building code. You can see a lot of greenery, smart, resilient, livable, walkable, bikeable, safe, cleaner, cross-generational. And again, conceptual architecture, green architecture, vertical urbanism, tourism, investment. I think it will be able to create 1 million jobs. And it will alleviate not just the aviation traffic, but land traffic. Metro Manila traffic is about 4 billion pesos a day lost in the traffic. Airport-driven province. Fortunately, about 3 weeks ago, we also won updating the provincial plan of Bulacan. And LGUs in Bulacan, like San Rafael, San Miguel, we're doing it also. In Pulilan, private sector investors. So, river flow enforcement and so on. They will dredge all the rivers of Bulacan. they will deepen them, and so on. We also address the 100-year flooding forecast. So to uh, put more capacity for the rivers, and we have rainwater harvesting within the Aero City, Aerotropolis. These are not just landscape features, but rainwater harvesting. And the buildings are interconnected on the third or fourth floor with sky gardens and so on. Solar roofs was possible. Integrated. I think this can be a snapshot of the future, not just postcards from the future, because I know they will implement it. San Miguel Corporation, 6% of our GDP. Our tourism receipts also 6% of our GDP. So even the steps, it can be future ready. So some of the architectural concepts, only up to concept schematic, so that other architects can come in to the design development and contract document. The transit hub, you can see even vertical trellises for insulate the buildings. The place to live, workshop, and then learn and worship. You are connected to the rest of the world with 120 million target arrivals per year. We've been, because the past 50 years, the direction of urban growth of Metro Manila is southward, Calabarzon. And many of our projects from Alabang to Candubang to Calatagan to Tagaytay. And that's why we're helping northward also. Hopefully we'll be able to help also towards the Pacific Ocean. Leyte Ecological Industrial Zone. Again, we want the competition here. The client BOI and DTI. It's like a industrial park inside the forest, or the forest brought into the industrial park. There will be more trees than vehicles. It's in Isabel Leyte and Merida, 2 LGUs, about 800 hectares. When I was speaker in the Dubai Expo, I was asked by government to also promote our government projects, not just private sector projects. Again, walkable, bikeable, eyes on the street, security by design, green roof, rainwater harvesting. Again, I hope it will be a model for our industrial parks, industrial estate. Again, rainwater harvesting in the parks and so on. DTI and BPI. Even the site selection was part of our scope of work. This is the first PESA registered university, Batangas State University. Again, we want to design competition, knowledge, innovation, science, technology park. It will be innovation hub in Batangas. Fortunately, we're also doing the city planning of Batangas, tourism of Batangas, and improvement of Batangas port. 40% of which is investment from Dubai Port World. So knowledge, innovation, science. So again, there's connectivity, visual connectivity, even the signages, we part of our scope of work. Then a lot of social interaction areas for students, outdoor classrooms, design innovations building, and all the windows are operable so that you can have cross ventilation, which partly was also natural light. Convention Center. These are 6 buildings in less than 3 hectares. Then Batangas State University was cited as the Center of Excellence for Engineering. Again, there was a competition. We won again the Engineering Building Center of Excellence and the dormitory for the students. So from the 6 buildings, we won again the 2 new buildings. The water park, it's not just a landscape feature, but rainwater harvesting. It's also a social interaction area for students and also for emergency. In case of fire, you have the water available there. So, Batangas State University, East Park, Knowledge, Innovation, Science, and Technology Park, there are 112 state universities in our country. They can be the innovation hubs of the different cities. I think those are 6 of our 1,800 projects. And I think there's a lot of work for our architects. Do your computation. 150 million population. How many dwelling units? Divided by 5. And we have a backlog of 6 million. How many hospitals? How many classrooms? How many industrial parks? How many office parks? And so on. So a lot of work for us. If you want to address our 6 challenges, and we speak out. So we shape the. We also have so many obsolete laws that make us less globally competitive. I'm not American, but I chair the Urban Development Environment of the American Chamber of Commerce. I'm not Canadian, I'm a governor of Canadian Chamber of Commerce, European Chamber, and so on. Usually I get elected when I'm absent. Then the Philippine Business Conference last October, again, I was elected chairman of the largest conference of businesses. Again, when I was absent. And it's very successful. They say it was the most successful. So I've been sharing all this so that, especially the younger architects, don't migrate. A lot of work here. A lot of work. And again, the theme of this, put forward in Christian Vasquez, connectivity and collaboration. Seamless connectivity. Many of the work, our work in the private, with the flies in the private sector. We just do the master plan, architectural programming, conceptual schematic. We'd like to work with local architects because it's more expensive for us. The client will pay for our airfare and hotels, and we don't really have the local knowledge, availability of local materials. People think that we want to do everything, but sometimes more clients they give everything to us so that they say if something goes wrong, there's only one to blame. But some of projects like in Bambiran, the client, they ask us to do even the construction. So we hired a Filipino contractor, project management all the way, and so on. So, as I said, I had last 10 minutes, okay, still very generous. I have been cajoled to change my passport 5 countries. I think our country is so blessed. If I may share also, my client in the Middle East, this anecdote might have come from Filipino expatriates. He said that several nations complained to Allah, with due respect to our Muslim brothers and sisters, that how come Allah favored the Philippines with more beautiful islands and more beautiful women? And the answer of Allah is that stop complaining. I also gave them the worst politicians. So, Allah, God, the Holy Spirit. You can avoid everything. Yeah. And I said, you do strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges of our country. We have more strengths and opportunities, less challenges and threats and weaknesses. And the challenges, we know the problem, we know the solutions. I think okay lang tayo. And also, we must educate like Dubai, they listen to the architects, the designers. In our part of the world, architectural decisions or urban decisions are done by the politicians. In fact, one head of planning of a progressive city, maybe I will not mention the gender in the city. I asked him or her, how come you allow the reclassification of open spaces into saleable high-rise building? And he said, Architect Palafox, that was not an urban planning decision. It was a political decision. Then when you add more population, you should have more trees and more open spaces. And if you describe Metro Manila to a human body, our employment centers, job centers, maybe the heart of the city. Then the roads and waterways are the arteries. And the open spaces are the lungs of the city. So Metro Manila need a heart transplant, heart bypass, and lung transfer. If you compare it to the human body. And in the 70s, you know, Metro Manila, I was team leader for the senior country leader, and Manila Bay Region Strategic Plan. I was project officer, UNDP. The leaders of Dubai, I think, saw the planning report in Washington, D.C. So Sultan Khalifa of Dubai, he was a member of parliament UAE, the big businessman also, and managing director of Dubai Electricity and so on. He came to the Philippines to look for me and interviewed me before Christmas, Mandarin Hotel. And they said, we are inviting you and hiring you to help plan Dubai, bring it to the first world in 15 years. And I said, Sultan, I still 4 months with Philippine government projects. Because I was a full scholar of UP, I have to work for government at least 2 years. Fortunately, I was assigned foreign funded project by the World Bank UNDP. And they really did a due diligence. And they went to one of my professors in USD, architect Mariano. He's the only professor that I got an incomplete grade. and he affirmed me. Because I was a student leader, leading rallies in Buanga, to Sagada, to Menjola. So every day of delay of your grade, that's 5 points. So let's say if my architectural design is 98, becomes negative. So it says, Palafox, you choose activism or architecture. So I fail you or incomplete. Sir, incomplete na lang. So in my own transcript, only one incomplete. Siya pa ang napili ni Sultan Khalifa to interview who am I. And I remember it very well. That's why I'm very strict in our company, punctuality. Also because of my mentors in the seminar, German missionaries, European missionaries, and American missionaries. Punctuality very important. And in our office, I tell my colleagues, tardiness is allowed with integrity. Because you promised to be there, you did not keep your promise. Last 5 minutes, thank you. And I said, when you do at Palafox, some of my colleagues are here. When better is doable, good is not good enough. And our management, because some of us Filipinos, yung pwede na, baka makalusot. So when better is doable, good is not good enough. What else can I share? That, again, from the popularized by the Kennedys, some people see things as they are and say why. I dream things that never were and say why not. So I keep challenging my colleagues in the office. Design so well, when we do our brainstorming, everyone is equal and not higher than anyone. From the craziest ideas to the most intelligent ideas, we accept them. Sometimes the craziest idea is the best idea. Yeah. Then we whittle it down to maybe 12 or 20 ideas. We whittle it down to 12, to 5, to 3, the preferred ones. So we show our clients not just the product, but the process. And our clients will tell us that which is your preferred. Like the 3 alternatives for Rockwell. First project of the Lopez Group. They were about to sell it 8,000 per square meter. Then the friends of Henry Lopez, 5 of their friends, bless their souls. Before you decide to sell, talk to June Palafox. Then I told him, you have 3 major options, Mr. Lopez. Sell it as is where it is, 8,000 pesos per square meter. Next option, kopyahin na lang natin ang Bel Air, 3-story residences, 20,000 per square meter. That's what always 1992. Third option, just like the high tall buildings in Dubai, mixed-use development. Then somebody estimated it, high-rise mixed-use development with 49% not saleable, 120,000 per square meter. The first 2 buildings were sold out by invitation in 4 cocktail parties, wala pang permit. Since they had no license to sell, yung mga nag-deposit put in a trust fund. Trust
So it doesn't leak. Then San Vicente Palawan, again, we won the design competition, waterfront. And I was able to convince landowners, you set it back from the high water mark by 50 meters to specific islands like Hawaii, 150-foot high water mark. In our country, sometimes 3 meters lang, 10 meters. I was able to convince the landowners. And then with the vertical easement, because the tsunami and so on surge were about 4 meters high, so no livable spaces, bedrooms below 4 meters. We had like restaurants, but no walls and so on. And then my daughter Carly, the first Filipino born in Dubai, Karima, who's also urban planner, urban economist, she brought it to the Royal Town Planning Institute of the UK in London. We showed our plans. It was cited as one of the top 8 best master plan projects in the whole world. Then when it got cited, wala pang infrastructure, wala pang development. The land value from 300 pesos, 100 pesos, 14,000 per square meter. So I told them, this is not economic pricing, it's emotional pricing. The downside, the urban will get priced out again. Yeah. So I hope we'll be able to influence building codes here, get the high water mark, no livable spaces. I learned that from helping rehabilitate the communities that were flooded by the Indian Ocean tsunami. Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Thailand, and so on. Yeah, that's what I learned from them. Before, I was not in favor of skywalks and skyways. On the way, I opened my eyes to elevated highway because I think 70% of our coastline communities will get flooded the 100-year flooding. And just like what happened to Dubai, maybe they did not forecast the 100-year flooding. And in our country, I've been talking to several cabinet public works secretary. Our flood control drainage is 75% undersized. Because they're designed only for 25 return of super typhoons. And super typhoons are happening every other year. Then we have the higher ground, like Fort Valley used to be a military camp. So the rainwater percolates to the ground. Now they are concrete, so bigger run walls. And in the mid-70s, Metro Plan Manila was one of the best metro plans in the world. Now people come here, even students of architecture, engineering, and planning, from big universities in the world, they now come to Metro Manila and how not to do it. EDSA corridor is how not to do it. It's functioning of 8 parallel roads. Major arterial road, minor arterial, major collector road, minor collector road, shopping center access road, regional access road, military access road, what else? And there are these military parallel roads inside gated military camps and gated communities. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think time is up.